the mail, and this deal has never been closer. Trump call with Putin raises hopes of ceasefire. And what do you think, Jake, of this? It's almost like he's going over Ukraine's head.
Well, look, there's a famous Gilray cartoon of the 18th century which has William Pitt and Napoleon sat in front of a plum pudding, which looks like the earth, carving it up between them. And I'm sorry, this sort of deal between these two superpowers, whether it's Trump and Putin, without Ukraine at the table, just feels wrong. Now, we all pray for peace. We all hope for peace in Ukraine and more widely across the world. But the idea that you can give away the Zaporizhzhia power plant and large stretches of land in Ukraine to Russia in exchange for their illegal war and aggression just feels wrong.
I don't know. The Ukrainians have already said we're not giving up an inch here. So I don't know where this just seems like it's not going to even take off at all, Nelufar.
It's definitely, listen, I think we're noticing a shift in the geopolitical ambitions and methodology that the United States are employing. Let's not forget that his predecessor, Biden, got out of Afghanistan via talks that didn't involve Afghan women and major key stakeholders. This seems to now be just how America does foreign policy. They're going to make unilateral decisions about nations without their involvement. And you have to wonder, genuinely, how long their supremacy can last if this is the way.
Now, wait a minute. What are we watching here? This is not today, is it? When is this? OK, this is 2018, just to be clear. So is this going to happen again, Jake, do you think? Because Putin since then has covered himself in blood.
Yeah, I mean, Trump and Putin, Trump is on record as saying he admires Putin and he thinks that strong leadership, which, even though he's an appalling dictator, undeniably Putin is a strong leader, is something Trump admires. Look, I think it's wrong for the Ukraine. I think it's wrong for Europe. There's a lot that President Trump does that I think is refreshing and people should admire. I just think on this one, that, you know, excluding Ukraine from the talks is never going to deliver a lasting peace.
And also Russia may stop and then start again.
Yeah. Well, the truth of it is, this is a quote from President Trump, we're already talking about dividing up certain assets. Well, neither side owns that asset. It's as if,
exactly.
It's as if, you know, Jeremy, you and I were deciding what to do with Jake's car without him present and who's going to get it and where we're going to. It's just ridiculous. It's preposterous.
I'm trying to follow that analogy because if I was like 25 times the size of Jake and he was scared of me, then maybe I could take his car.
And do you reckon he'd let you have it without a fair fight?
You know, it's theft. I mean, no one would see that. I think it's not theft. And I think. Look, Trump said he was going to come in and he was going to solve the Ukraine problem within 24 hours. And that's clearly what he's pushing for, is for a fast... It won't be 24 hours, but he's pushing for a fast ceasefire. But to pick up on your point, Jeremy, you're right. If Ukraine are not involved in this, we're not talking about peace, we are talking about a ceasefire. During that ceasefire, Russia will rearm itself, the Ukraine will rearm itself, and we will be here again, you know, I'm sorry to say, very, very shortly thereafter.
Let's just mention a few more things here involving Trump. So Conor McGregor so he's the mixed martial arts guy, and he's gone to the States. The Trump administration seems to be welcoming quite a lot of people who are sketchy. I'm thinking Andrew Tate as an example. Conor McGregor has recently lost a civil trial where he was accused of rape by an ex-partner, and he lost that case. Let's have a look at McGregor's comments from the podium in the White House press room.
I'm here to raise the issues that people of Ireland face, you know, and it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears, because never on the main stage has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland, and it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people. The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed, and the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit.
You know, so he then goes into the White House to see, or the Oval Office to see Trump himself. Your head is in your hands, Nelufar. Why?
Well, I'm actually mortified to hear him talk like that. He's playing, isn't he, politician? Today's just dress-up day in which he's putting on a suit and coming
Isn't
to
he
the
genuinely
office.
speaking about something that is very concerning to a lot of people in Ireland, namely...
Is he
There we are.
saying...
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Well,
Sorry,
he's talking about untrammeled immigration is how he
Jeremy,
sees it.
He's standing at the podium of a foreign country, playing dress-up, playing politician. A man who wants to be the next leader of Ireland is just trying to have his say about... It's almost like a stream of consciousness. He's Trump-esque in his delivery.
What do you think, Jake?
Well, I think, you don't have to support him as an individual. Obviously, there's been this civil case against him where he's been found to have raped someone, which is, clearly not someone we would normally sit up and listen to, not someone who'd be given an audience in the White House, you would suspect. However, his comments about Irish immigration do to some extent reflect the polling that we see in Ireland about people's concern about uncontrolled immigration to Ireland. Of course, last summer there was a riot in Dublin where people were so concerned about it, they went up and rioted on the streets about it. But he is sort of tapping into this populist vein that President Trump represents. We see people across Europe now speaking out loudly about immigration, and it's for centre ground politicians like the Conservative Party, the Labour Party, other parties here in the UK and across Europe, to reflect on the genuine concerns that people have about immigration and do something about it.
Let me just show you the Taoiseach that the head of Ireland, the Prime Minister, his tweet. St. Patrick's Day around the world is a day rooted in community, etc. Conor McGregor's remarks are wrong and do not reflect the spirit of St. Patrick's Day or the views of the people of Ireland. People might disagree with that, Nelufar.
Listen, I'm not saying that Ireland doesn't have issues that need to be dealt with when it comes to immigration of any sort, but really, McGregor as the person who's going to deliver what Ireland needs, it's ludicrous. What I see here in this image are two men accused of rape, one who's been convicted, who have come together.
Both civil trials.
One is rape. Well, one was convicted of sexual assault. He was convicted, but on a different capacity. Yeah. The point is that the thing that connects these two men isn't their desire to make their countries a more fair, just, and equitable place. Okay. It's the fact that they are trying to strongman their situation and become leaders for some reason. I mean...
I was
yeah, but of course, Trump was elected. It's all very well to say he was elected by a record number of Americans. And there will be people sat in the Republic of Ireland who are saying, thank goodness someone is speaking out for me. And the fact that it has to be a fringe individual with appalling personal history, as we've talked about, and it's not represented by mainstream politicians, is a failure of politics. And that is why we're seeing this concern, this hatred, this rioting. It's because it's not the people of Ireland who are wrong, it's politicians who are letting them down by not speaking about the issues they care about.
We discussed yesterday whether Farage might be the next Prime Minister, and quite a lot of people thought he would be in this country. Carrying on with it, all the fun and games at the White House, there were questions yesterday about whether the Statue of Liberty would be returned to France. Let's just have a listen to... I hope we're going to hear, first of all, the politician in France. Or what's the clip here? Tell me what we've got here. OK, so this is a question that arises from a comment made by a French politician.
There is now a member of the European Parliament from France who does not think the U.S. represents the values of the Statue of Liberty anymore. They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country.
I mean, they always go in heavy, don't they? But so there we are. That was a little bit. I think the guy was in the French Parliament, not the European Parliament.
Yes. So it's a French member of the European Parliament, Raphael Glucksmann.
Yeah.
Who's come out and said, look, America no longer embodies. So correct me if I'm wrong. It's give me your tired, hungry, huddled masses or some such sort of phraseology that the Statue of Liberty is supposed to represent. So it doesn't say, give me your billionaires, your technocrats and your oligarchs. It says, give me your tired, huddled masses. And I think the point being made here is America is losing its way, a nation built on immigration.
Well, Trump has only been in power 60 days. Let's give it a bit of time.
The French want their statue
before
back.
we pronounce.
That's all they could do.
Well, maybe they should return the state of Virginia to the United Kingdom at the same time. Look, what a brilliant put down by the White House. This is the new reality of politics, is you have an American government that will say things like, look, if it wasn't for America, you would be speaking German. This is a wake-up call to you.
This is a man who
No, I
had
don't think it's rude at all.
Jake,
I don't think it's rude
Jake,
at all.
This is a man who
I
had
think,
neo-Nazis
we need
for
to,
lunch and dinner. So
we need
by
to
the
wake
French...
up in this
Hang
country.
on.
Go on.
No, go on.
No, I don't
You
want
go
to cut across now.
No, I don't. The neo-Nazi thing is
Look, we
adjunct.
need to wake up in this country. This is the realpolitik of the new world, and we can all sit on television shows or in Parliament, sort of saying, boo hoo hoo. We don't like Donald Trump. He is the democratically elected leader of the free world, and you either get with the program or you get left behind.
Okay, go on, Nelufar.
No.
All right, don't.